I didn't remember that when you pulled a straw out of a wrapper, it made noise. I didn't know that. So when they pulled it out and it made noise, I was like, oh. Or driving a car and having a car go by you, like that noise that it makes. Didn't know that. Didn't know that when you typed on a keyboard that it made noise. I never heard that before. So it sounds crazy. But those, or I would just be sitting at home and I was like, what is that noise? And we had a fish tank and it was the filter. I had never heard it running. Gina Barnhart, and I'm from Indiana. I'm one of those percentages that they don't know why I had the hearing loss. Like, no one in my family has it. We've had every test unimaginable to see, and they can't find a reason why. Probably in my early 30s, I always thought like I had water in my ear, or I would blame it on a sinus infection. There was always something that I would blame it on. And it wasn't until other people started pointing it out to me that I really started to pick up on it more. As a kid, I think, and up through today, my favorite sound is laughter, especially from kids. I just think I love that noise. And when I first started noticing my hearing loss, I could not hear my girls laugh as much, especially if they were upstairs. So that's when it first started to impact me, because I couldn't hear that noise I loved. If there was any loud background noise, even a microwave running, and someone was behind me, I could not hear them. My sister pointed it out several times, and I also noticed I read lips a lot. And so that was kind of when I thought, all right, I need to at least get it checked out. For me, it was an embarrassment thing. Even though most people don't even know I have them because I have long hair, it was still like a vain thing. Like, I always joked that I didn't want to get hearing aids until they came with a walker. And like, I would joke it off and kind of play it off because I always kind of felt self-conscious about that. And now that I've had them for so long, now I'm like, oh, well, I wear my hair up. If people ask me questions, they ask me questions, and that's fine. The first time I tried hearing aids, it was too overwhelming for me. Like, it was just too much. I'm not sure how other people react because I don't really know anyone else that has them. But for me, it was difficult. Like, I got them the first time and it was just so overwhelming, like wearing them in the grocery store and hearing music playing overhead. And it was just too overwhelming for me. And so after a week, I was like, okay, I can't. But then once I didn't have them, then it was kind of like, oh, I kind of miss hearing some of those sounds that I had. So then a couple months later, I was like, okay, I want those back. I went back and we got them again, and we just started at a very low level and then just increased me until I felt comfortable with what I was hearing. My husband thinks it's funny, and he has me tell people all the time because I didn't remember that when you pulled a straw out of a wrapper, it made noise. I didn't know that. So when they pulled it out and it made noise, I was like, oh. Or driving a car and having a car go by you, like that noise that it makes. Didn't know that. Didn't know that when you typed on a keyboard that it made noise. I never heard that before. So it sounds crazy. But those, or I would just be sitting at home and I was like, what is that noise? And we had a fish tank and it was the filter. I had never heard it running. So those kind of things were just like a shock to me that I was like, oh, they make a sound, and I didn't know it. I spend a lot of time outside in the backyard with our dogs, and we're right by an elementary school, and you can hear them at recess, and it's amazing. I love that sound. I go out there, I think sometimes purposefully just to eat my lunch or something, just so I can hear them just running around and playing and screaming and having fun, or the neighbor kids running around. I think I miss my girls kind of being that age sometimes, but the ones I have now, I feel like they're like bionic ears, because like it all syncs with my phone. And like, I just happened to mention to Dr. Rock that the thing I couldn't hear the most was our television. For some reason, I always had to turn it up. So she adjusted them so that I can go in and push a button when I'm watching TV and it will be louder and I can hear them, and then that doesn't impact my family. It's nice because these also have, like, if I'm in a restaurant and there's background noise and I just want to focus on who's ever in front of me, I can adjust those so that they just go a certain way. Also, I have a daughter in college that plays volleyball. So when we would go to her matches, it's very loud in there. And I could adjust them so that I could just focus on more what was in front of us. I like to be able to Although I do have an advantage, I think, because I can read coaches' lips better and players' lips better. So I can kind of, ooh, that one is not happy. So I like that. I like that I have that like ability. It sounds funny, but I feel more independent because I can actually hear people and I have more confidence in that. I don't have to rely so much on lip reading, although I still think I revert back to that sometimes. But honestly, it's like almost like a confidence level because I don't feel like I had went to a seminar and I was constantly asking my husband, what did he say? What did he say? And I don't have to do that anymore. I can adjust my hearing aids. I can hear them. And it's such a empowering feeling. But if I could talk to that person back then, or I could talk to somebody who was thinking about it, contemplating it, I would say at least try it. At least try it for a couple weeks. Because I think once you try it and once you feel that freedom and that ability that you didn't have before, that it's an empowering feeling that I think that they don't realize what they're missing out on. You really don't. You don't realize what you're missing until you don't have it. At first it was a little nerve-wracking, but then once I came here, it was just easy. Everyone was so nice and they just made it easy. And actually I got new ones since I've been here. And those in themselves have been life-changing. And Dr. Rock's helped me so much, like get them used to my phone and being able to just use them even better. The biggest difference I found was the doctors. The doctor I saw before was more direct to the point, and Dr. Rock was just so calming and so easygoing, and it just made me feel so much more relaxed. They truly have changed my life, literally. And the fact that I have a better quality of life. I don't feel nervous to come in if I have an issue or a question. I've never felt that. I've never felt like I couldn't come in and say something or even just call. And to just be able to have the empowerment that I have and the confidence that I've been able to gain, I couldn't thank them enough.